What if the next big break in your business wasn't from a new strategy or some new software or AI, but from one powerful spirit led connection? Let's talk about it when we return. Hello, hello there, our mompreneurs. Glad to see you here with me today. Welcome back to another episode of the Making of a Mompreneur Show, where faith meets focus and motherhood meets $1 million moves. Okay, now come on. Today, our topic is kingdom connections. 11 purpose driven ways to network like a Mompreneur Pro. That's right, we're talking about networking today. I am your host, Rasheeda Green, also known as the Digi Mompreneur. I am the founder of Get Coaching, the host of this wonderful Mompreneur HQ community, and the creator of the Digi Mompreneur Academy, where we help moms who are determined to find time, money, and location freedom to start, grow, and scale their online business without neglecting themselves or their families in the process. And we do that through coaching, content, community, and through the Digimompreneur Academy. If you are joining us here for the first time, make sure that you put hashtag live if you're watching us live, hashtag replay if you're watching the replay, and also let us know where you're tuning in from. So it'll be hashtag live from Charlotte, hashtag replay from Jersey, whatever that may be. That is, let us know so that we can get all excited about the reach that the Mompreneur HQ community has. Now, today we are diving into something that so many of us really underestimate, myself included, but it's really a game changer in my entrepreneurial journey. And you want to know what that is? It's networking. Yes, networking, but not the awkward kind with business cards flying everywhere. I'm talking about faith led, heart centered, purpose driven connections that grow your business and fuel your calling. If you've ever felt like networking was just for extroverts or something you had no time for between homeschooling, meal prepping, and running your business, today's episode is going to shift that mindset completely. So if you have your pen, paper, or digital device ready to go, make sure you let us know hashtag ready so that we know that you're ready to get into this here topic. And before we dive in, let me quickly shout out something that I'm excited for. I've been plugging it here and there, but now it's moving right along. It's official that the Mompreneurs Marketing and Mocktails event will be happening. Yes, it's going to be the Mompreneurs Marketing and Mocktails Content Creation Edition. It is just a few weeks away on June 21st, right here in Charlotte. And it's going to be in person right here in Charlotte. Did I say that? Yes, in person. So let's be clear, this is not your average brunch. I want you to think gorgeous content studio, bottomless branding vibes, professional headshots. Come on now. Who else is looking for strategic networking with other Christian mom entrepreneurs like yourself? Come on. I'm so excited. I can't even get the words out my mouth. How about it? But we are doing early bird pricing. The link is not available yet. It is coming. So be on the lookout in your email, on your social media, because when it drops, there is going to be a 1 week window for the early bird pricing, which is $100, and we've got limited seats. So it's not going to be a free for all. We have limited seating. So I want you to make sure that you grab your spot, bring your camera roll, i.e., your digital device, because most people are going to do that. But if you do have a camera, feel free to bring it. And we're going to create and connect in style. So be on the lookout because you will get the opportunity to register for this event shortly. But if you're not on our email list, make sure you get on our email list. If you're not in the Mompreneur HQ community, make sure you get in the Mompreneur HQ community so that you could be one of the first to know when the link drops to register for this event. All right. So now that you've heard that the Mompreneurs Marketing and Mocktails is coming, the live Content Creation Edition is coming. That is what we are going to talk about in today's lesson, not that, but networking so that you can get yourself ready. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and jump right in. And the first topic that we're going to talk about is a mindset shift, why networking matters for mompreneurs. So, if we keeping it 100, many of us were raised to believe that hard work alone would open the doors, and that while diligence is important, divine connections often create the biggest breakthroughs. The truth is, God works through people and he works in mysterious ways. And in Proverbs 27:17, it says, as iron sharpens iron, one person sharpens another. So we are here to sharpen each other as a community in the Mompreneur HQ. But now we're all also recognizing that this is something that we need to do on a spiritual level, sharpen one another, on an entrepreneurial level, sharpen one another, as moms, sharpen one another. And so, why are we really trying to do this thing called life and business by ourselves? We are not on an island. We are not alone. Networking isn't just about gaining something, right? Because sometimes we think we're going to network is because we want something from somebody, but it's also about serving, it's encouraging, it's connecting the dots. So we're giving, we're planting seeds of faith, right? Because you want somebody to believe in you as you want to be able to grow your business. You have to build that trust, you have to build that relationship. And these things like serving others, being selfless, really do have their benefits as a principle of giving in the Bible. And this episode isn't about just about adding more to your to-do list, right? We're not trying to say do more, but it's really about aligning your intentional efforts with the divine opportunities that may exist, right? Because we talk about how you never know what's around the corner. You never know what's going to happen. And then in the workforce, we talk about how it's not what you know, but who you know. And so that's a principle also here, because I could say it's not about what I know, it's about who I know. And that who I know is Jesus, right? Because he has had some given me some favor in different, allow me to go into different rooms and different places, and even in different jobs, like how I went back to work. And God just laid that thing out. He told somebody to tell me something. And then I, not thinking much of it, just went and said, okay, I'll give it a try. And it was painless. It was painless because God had already made a way. He had already set the victory before me. And so I was able to then go back into the workforce after not having been in the workforce for years. I want to say 5 years at the time, and not having been in the workforce for 5 years, and being able to go into this job opportunity and get it after one interview. It was just a great and divinely ordained opportunity. And I don't know if I shared this before. I know I've said it. I'm not sure if I said it here, but there was a specific number that I was looking for. And when I tell you, it was to the dollar that the position had given me. There's some divine connections. The person that introduced me to it, to the job opportunity, is someone from college who I met, but who I had not met, but we went to the same college. And then we became friends, not where we were from. We're both from Jersey. We didn't become friends there in Jersey. We didn't become friends at our college, but we became friends after the fact when we met at an alumni association. And we were both, at the time, she was looking to do coaching for her business and introduced me to her coach. And then we wound up being coaching buddies. It was just networking. And thus we have this whole conversation about how networking can be so powerful in building your business and making sure that you're not isolating yourself or thinking that you have to do it by yourself, right? So we're going to talk about 11 purpose-driven networking strategies that you can use to be able to grow your circle, your network, and really build out your business in a way that's not self-serving, but serving others who will then reciprocate based on the relationship. Okay. So we're going to break down 11 ways to network like kingdom minded mompreneur powerhouses that we are. And we're going to start with number one, with your circle. Start with your circle. You're already connected to potential collaborators, mentors, and doors of opportunity. You just maybe you don't know it. I want you to start thinking about your current community, like your church, past jobs, coaching groups, things like that. Who can you reach out to this week as a networking opportunity? Number two, be consistent and not chaotic, right? Because, or should I even say sporadic, right? We're just all over the place, just not necessarily organized. But I want you to try to consider adding networking touch points to your weekly routine. Now, I said I wasn't going to make your to do list long. So, when I say networking touch points, it can be one voice memo, one check in email, or encouraging comment on someone else's posts. And you want to do this weekly touch point, and it adds up, right? It adds up. Those opportunities and those touch points do add up and keep you connected to those who you want to build your circle with. Number three, join a mission aligned community. It doesn't have to be one, it doesn't have to be a Christian one. Something that you can seek out, like memberships, masterminds, or even events like Mompreneurs Mocktails and Marketing, where faith meets ambition. Number four, you can look at leveraging your social media with intention. Now, that's social media, it should be a given, but really you want to engage. You don't want to just keep scrolling, because I can get some mindless scrolling going about here and end up 2 hours later. I thought I was going to bed. But with this touch point, we're talking about networking. You want to be able to drop meaningful comments. Somebody's on your post, somebody on your feed comes up that you may or may not have contacted with in a while. Go ahead and drop some meaningful comments. You can send encouragement and be known for adding value, because if you're known for adding value and increase solving a problem, people are likely to drift towards you instead of away from you. So make sure that you're leveraging social media with intention for networking and building your circle of influence, so that you have the people resources that you need to help to grow and develop your business. All right, so we're looking at number five. We want you to be bold. Start the conversation. So even if this is someone in that you've been watching, you've been following on Facebook, or looking at their IG and never really saying anything, we already talked about being intentional. So maybe go ahead and make that comment, and in this case, slide into the DM. Speak up on a Zoom. Share how someone inspired you. Don't just wait, initiate. Don't wait, initiate. Okay? Because what they say, closed mouths don't get fed. If you don't speak up, nobody's going to know what your need is. Nobody's going to recognize you and for the value that you bring, because they don't know it exists if you're not initiating conversation and stepping out on faith when you start these conversations. Okay? Number six, we want you to ask soulful, open-ended questions. Why? Because open-ended, they got to answer. So if you ask something like, what led you to start your business? Now, this is if you go in their DMs, right? Instead of saying, how long have you been doing this? Because what led you to start your business will require a full length sentence structure of a response, versus how long have you been in this business? 7 years. What led you to start your business? I was at home, I felt like this, and then I thought that, and I said, hey, and then I had skills, so I started a business. You see what I'm saying? You get more response with open-ended question. Open hearts equals open doors. So if you can get them to start talking about themselves and sharing their heart with you about whatever topics or subject matter, or even about themselves, because most people like to talk about themselves even when they are shy. They tell you how they are shy and where they think they came from, right? So open hearts equals open doors. So if you can get them to open up their hearts to you, There's an opportunity for open doors. All right, we're moving right along in our 11 list of 11. Number 7, follow up faithfully. Now, this gets a little tricky because sometimes we can be bold enough to start the conversation, but then we ghost folks in the DMs, right? Or in the inbox. They respond like, yeah, and they give you all this wonderful context of a response, but then we don't respond back. We don't check back to our emails often enough. And I'm talking about myself. So if you sent me an email, if you sent me a text message, if you sent me a DM and I haven't responded, I am openly apologizing because this is me. This is my life. And I am really working on it, especially as I'm talking about networking. And so I do realize that this is something that can be challenging, especially for mom entrepreneurs who are busy with other things pulling away at their lives. But I want you to go ahead and circle back. Nurture those promising connections. Some people you identify as not going to be a promising connection because they're not responsive or they're very vague. And so they're kind of like saying they're not that into you by not responding, or from the lack of response, or from the lackluster response. So you can identify that and back out, ease on that. You want to make sure that if it is something that seems promising, they're giving you feedback, they're talking back and forth, they're also encouraging you, they're also sharing your posts, then I don't want you to let God ordained moments get cold. If that connection is being built and that connection is there and you can see it, feel it, what have you, then go ahead and make sure that you're nurturing that relationship. All right. Now, the number 8 of the 11 is lead with service. So we talked about that a little bit earlier. Offer help, encouragement, resources. Offer these things before ever asking for anything in return. Now, there are some people who say, oh, it's sleazy salesman, and I don't want you to come at me with all this stuff and then hit me hard with the sales pitch. If that's all the relationship is going to be about, then just put the sales pitch in the beginning. That way I can say yes or no from the jump and nobody wastes their time. That's a legitimate point, legitimate, right? And so you go with what your natural position is. If you don't like to be led with niceties and then hit with a sales pitch, then you don't do it. But if you're really looking to build relationships that are not just, remember, because we're talking about serving here, that are not just about what somebody can give to me, what somebody going to give me, how you're going to help me, but building relationships and seeing how you can offer help to someone else, then lead with that. That this is, and you don't have to start off, don't even mention anything about any products or anything like that, because guess what? Most people, if they're curious, they'll go and find out for themselves. And so you wouldn't have to do any type of promotion or sales pitches inside that communication. So think about that as you lead with service. Number 9, I would say, is prioritize depth over width. Now, I'm trying to think. So when I was in a MLM, multi-level marketing business, we would talk about depth over width, right? So it was nice to have width because you were getting money across the board, right? But if you had depth, then that means it wasn't just, okay, I have 10 people on my team and you get paid $10 per 10 people, that's $100. But if you go depth, now the one person under that person, they have a team of 10, that's $100. And the one person on that team under that person has a team of 10, now it's $30, $300. So depth is significant, not just in business terms, but in building powerful relationships as well. So build a few deep, strong connections instead of just trying to work the room, right? Because there could be 100 people in the room and you're just walking around, how you doing, how you doing, my name is, yeah. You're going around in that circle and you may meet 100 people, and you all 100 people, and you may get 50 business cards out of that meeting. But how many of those people did you really connect to, and how many of those people did you feel would be a great business opportunity if you're just doing speed dating or just working the room. So you want to make sure that you're prioritizing depth over width. So yeah, you might have only got to speak to 2 to 5 people at that 100 person event, but you got the chance to spend some quality time talking to them, getting to understand them, their business, or whatever the case is. Like the whole nurturing, you just going into the conversation to willing to serve, and then just let the conversation be natural and do what it's going to do, right? Better, that's better to do that than to meet 100 people just to say that you met 100 people at the event. Okay. So number 10, be a connector. Now I have some good peoples in my corner who are connectors. That's Heather. Heather is a connector. She has a network that is super huge, and she's always connecting people. Then I have Miss LaWanda. Now y'all saw her a couple of weeks back on our show. She is a connector because she has a network of various folk, not one industry, not one job. She just know a lot of people, and she's a connector. You say I need this, and she's going to tell you, oh, I think so and so. She's a connector. So I have a couple of connectors that I need to connect with so that I can get some connections. But one of the things with being a connector is you have to make the introductions. You can share someone's launch, invite others to spaces that you love, and what you sow, you'll pretty much reap. And when I talked about those connectors, thinking about coaching, I'm looking to do an affiliate or an all-in-one platform. Heather was like, okay, there's this person. Okay, we're talking about ADHD. And because it's hard out here with ADHD. And are there even any ADHD coaches out there worth their weight in gold? And Heather's boom, this person. I'm like, good gosh, just it's like a mental Rolodex is deep. And the same thing with Lavonda. Okay, I'm looking for the Mompreneurs Marketing and Mocktails event. I'm looking for a videographer. Oh, this person. I'm looking for a caterer. Oh, this person. It's always being a connector is a great thing because guess what? Even though you might feel like a middleman, guess what? You have the resources and connections that others don't have. And if you can be a resource to somebody, you're going to always think about you. Like when I talk about resources, I know these 2 people are resources. They know people that know people. And so they're going to always be on my mind for certain things when it comes to trying to find people for something. And so you want to be that person. Again, this is still serving because if they need something that you can provide, they're going to remember you. They're going to remember that connection. They're going to keep you in their pocket. And so that is good and for building a network, being a person that is valuable and provides value. And then my last point is the same thing we've been talking about serving, but the 11th point is give without an agenda. We talked about reaping and sowing. We talked about serving. And it's not about pitching, it is about pouring in. If you can pour into someone and share your resources and your insights, they will bless people. And if people feel like what you're bringing to table is blessing them, they will most certainly, mm-mm. Some people, and probably the good people that you want to connect to, will reciprocate. All right. And let's talk about how to make networking work for you. You are a mom, you're busy, you don't have time to be in a million Facebook groups or at 3 coffee chats a week. So how do we do this practically? All right. So here's what a networking flow could look like. On a daily basis, just make one meaningful comment, one message or encouragement, just one daily. Weekly, attend one virtual or in person event or workshop. Now, weekly might be too much for us moms, right? So we may not want to do weekly, but it's a consideration. Again, it could be virtual or in person, or it's just a workshop that you attend online or in person. Then monthly, how about you schedule a coffee chat or connect call with someone new, someone you met Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever. Do a coffee chat. Now, it could be virtual or in person, but get it scheduled once a month, somebody that you want to build a relationship with. And then quarterly, invest in one live event or a conference. Shameless plug, like Marketing Mocktails, Mompreneurs Marketing and Mocktails, because an event like that allows you to engage with other like-minded individuals, and again, build that network. And one more thing, what might be in the suggestion that you can consider is keep a connection journal. For me, when I collect business cards, I write on the back of them what the person said about themselves, what where I met them, because business cards they can be anywhere. So where I met them, what they had on, or what triggered me to have a conversation with them, what their business is, or what they said in more detail of other than what's on the card, and things, and one or two pointers about the conversation that we had, so I can go back and follow up with them. So this is something that you want to write down. Like I said, the name of a person, what you discussed, how you can support them. You'll be amazed at how God weaves those relationships together through time. And that's something I definitely would recommend. So I use the back of a card, but you can actually do a journal. It gives you more space to be able to write more notes. And sis, you were never meant to build your business alone. Networking isn't about being fake, forceful, or even frantic, right? We talked about chaotic earlier. It's about being faithful to show up, serve, and sow seeds with the intention and joy that you would want someone to interact with you. So this week, I'm going to challenge you to reach out to someone who inspires you. Comment with purpose on a fellow mompreneur's post, and invite someone to sit with you at marketing Mompreneurs Marketing and Mocktails. Yeah, I'm still pushing it. Yes, I am. Yes, I am, because I'm excited and I want you to join us. You never know what God is going to do behind the scenes through that one small step, that one small interaction. If today's episode spoke to you and you're ready to take this to the next level in person, then I don't want you to miss Mompreneurs Marketing Mocktails, our content creation edition that's going to be held on Saturday, June 21st, right here in Charlotte. Our early bird or our go-getter ticket is actually $100. The price will go up. We do have a VIP ticket that will include some nice goodies for you. And we're creating content, getting headshots, eating brunch, and making purposeful connections that you'll carry with you all year long. Make sure you drop a hashtag nugget if there is something that you want to share that you learned from this episode today. And a hashtag I'm in if you are interested in going and attending our Mompreneurs Marketing and Mocktails event on June 21st. Spots are limited and they will sell out. So make sure that you are watching on our channels. And if you're on the email list, you will definitely get the heads up in advance. And if you're not already inside the Digi Mompreneur Academy, what are you waiting for? This is the kind of kingdom community you've been praying for. And until next time, stay faithful, stay focused, and keep building what God has called you to build.